proud supporters of Curling NB. Hoop Lasso. Visit www.hooplasso.ca to learn about our mineralizer and to find a retailer near you. BrokerLink Insurance. BrokerLink has a group rate for members of Curling NB. Visit www.brokerlink.ca to get your quote today. The Brannen Icebreaker. The Jake Thomas Celebrity Curling Classic. The Government of New Brunswick. The Curling NB Hall of Fame. Visit www.facebook.com/CNBHOF for all information regarding the Curling NB Hall of Fame and this year's nominations. Egg Farmers Rocks and Rings Program. Visit www.rocksandrings.com to bring the Rocks and Rings program to your school's gymnasium or community function. Sport New Brunswick. Visit www.sportnb.com to learn more. Coaching Association of Canada. Visit www.coach.ca to learn more. And Curling Canada. Visit www.curling.ca to view all future upcoming events.
So it looks like the attempt will be for to come in to the 4 foot.
Hang on, folks. They're just clearing up some audio discrepancies here. Apparently, one of us was speaking and nobody was listening. All right, I think we got things straightened out now. So you can say what you were saying earlier, Arnold. It was a great story.
All right, so I think we're drawing to the 4 foot here to lie
Yes,
3.
attempting a draw to the 4 foot. Looks like some nice quiet weight on here. Sweepers have to give it a bit of an effort to get it into the 4 foot area.
He's got nice weight. Yep.
I think they just slid a little bit farther than they had hoped, Arnold.
Probably because the opportunity to come and sit on that is open to Matt now. So. He said earlier that these are 8-end games, and there's one timeout permitted for each team during the course of the game.
Matt Stanley with his last rock of this first end. Trying to bring what
they got on that early, Bernie, and
top. They're really pounding that right now. Oh, and just a little wick on that guard up front.
Wow.
Perhaps still getting used to where to put the rock in the right place for line. The weight seemed to be okay.
Yeah, that's correct, and just a missed opportunity.
So what are we going for here, Arnold? Another draw?
I think he's asking for the
hit and roll in?
Yes, yep.
Yes, if he hits it in the right spot, he could hit that other blue one that's wedged in between those two yellows. This is Hughes' last rock for this end. Oh. So we'll see here. I believe there's one blue in there.
Looks like he took 3, but perhaps not.
There. There might be a measure there.
I hadn't noticed the the blue one on the 4
That blue one, so. Yeah, it was kind of hidden in there.
That explains why that
yellows,
last shot
so they're going to ask for a measure
looking
here.
For a measurement.
Yep.
So Catherine McLean is our head official here, and she'll be here all weekend. And she has been asked to come out on ice 3 and do the measurement.
Just wanted to mention that the winner of the New Brunswick Mixed Championship would advance to the Canadian Championship this year. Is going to be in Assiniboia, Saskatchewan. They have a multi-use facility there, 6 sheets of curling ice, and that's going to be in November of 2025. Arnold, do you think you could run out there and see how close those rocks are while waiting?
Unfortunately, we don't have any overhead view. Amazing that we went the whole end, not realizing there was a blue rock at the.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
So what's your guess, Arnold?
I'm thinking blue, but. And that is a guess.
And it's a blue steel on this. Oh, we're going to wait a second.
Yeah, we'll have to wait to the. Obviously, yellow scored, but we just don't know how many. Here we go.
And we're. No, it's
just the
one
one
for Hughes, and
okay.
we'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
Uplazo's all-purpose mineralizer is the ideal solution for your plants. Uplazo is 100% natural and offers your vegetables, flowers, trees, herbs, and houseplants a blend of more than 57 minerals, compared to the big brand fertilizers that offer 3 minerals at most. Uplazo enhances everything that grows. Get bigger, tastier, and more colorful fruits and vegetables while keeping bugs away naturally. For a garden worthy of grandma, use Uplazo all-purpose mineralizer.
And we're back.
All games currently the 9:30 draw this morning are all in the second end. We have a score of 1-0 on sheet 1, Lehighton. Kraus is up 4-0 over Keith. In the feature game, Hughes is up 1-0 over Stanley, and Quillen is up 1-0 over Hughes, and it's a 5-0 game on sheet 5 with McGinn over Holmes. These are all 8-end games, as we said, Bernie, so.
Jared McGinn, I believe he is McGinn's related to Leroy. Leroy, a long-time curler in New Brunswick.
Okay.
So what we have going on here, Arnold, yellow team had put a center line guard to start,
Which you cannot take out till the 5th rock is thrown. Nice come around on the 4-foot, biting the button. Matt has chosen to come down to that now, and I mentioned earlier, Bernie, that all the rocks were textured or sanded on Monday night, and we played on Tuesday afternoon, and no one had told us that the rocks had been textured. It was quite interesting.
and what a surprise that was, Arnold.
Yeah.
It looked like somebody may have burnt the rock. The
Yeah.
blue rock that was coming down, they quickly removed it. Either that, or they were going to strike the rock that was in the no-tick zone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've never played with that no-tick rule. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think our league play is tough enough the way it is. If we introduce a no-tick zone, it's going to keep the people questioning.
We invite anyone who's in Moncton or traveling through to come down to Curl Moncton at 80 Lockhart Avenue to see the 2025 Brannen Mixed Championship, 15-team event here, which goes on till Sunday. 2 draws. Well, there's probably 4 draws today, right?
So now that the first 5 rocks have been delivered, Team Stanley is looking to remove some of those guards with a raised takeout, and that worked out quite nice for them.
Yep.
Ron Allen Elisenga getting ready to throw his rock for the Hughes team. Looking to come around into the 4-foot area.
It looks a little hot, Bernie.
Yeah, a little bit too much weight.
Yeah, it didn't. It actually right through the curl. So
the Stanley team now trying to take advantage of that and come in behind.
And we're going to see here with the right weight just how this is going to perform. It should prop up there nicely.
Yeah, based on where he had the broom, there should be it should come up, curl nicely at the end.
They're not laying a broom on it, so again, I think we might be a little on the hot side. And again, with that weight, it just doesn't allow it to take the curl, right? So
yeah,
just out.
once again trying to come in and bury one.
Yeah, they haven't changed the ice. It really wasn't about the ice. It was all about the weight.
That's right.
Again, they're not laying a broom on this either. Trying to make it curl. Here it comes now.
Perfect weight there.
Yep.
Nice shot.
So Matt has asked the mate to just sit on top of it.
That's right. Ashley Siddle had thrown a nice draw there behind cover. Daniel Hubbard from Team Stanley looking to just come on to that.
We mentioned earlier that these are 8-end games with a timeout afforded to each of the teams. One timeout. Trying to make this curl, Bernie. Again, just it's so weight sensitive.
Just a little, perhaps a little bit less broom.
Yeah.
Mike Hughes is looking to bring one into the rings on top of the shot rock they had just placed a couple of minutes ago.
Really pushing.
However,
they didn't, number two still remains blue. Right. So Matt's indicating he'd like the front cleared up. They've got last rock, so give an opportunity for him to make his attempt to score here.
Now what kind of weight are we going to throw here, Arnold?
Well, I would say control board plus probably, and
yeah, with that kind of line.
Well,
looking pretty good.
Yep.
Perhaps with just a little bit more curl, might have spilled the two of them.
Yep.
Again, calling for another draw into the rings. Mike Hughes first rock.
le championnat mix 2025 de Brannen existe ici à Curl Mountain. On est dans le premier match de vendredi. C'est des bouts de 8 bouts, des parties de 8 bouts. Il y a plus d'espace ici pour n'importe qui aimerait voir le jeu en ligne. Ici.
So an attempt to draw in on top of the yellow shot rock by Team Hughes. Perhaps just a little bit more weight than they wanted.
Yeah.
The line was good. Just with that little bit more weight, it didn't curl quite as much as they had hoped.
This is the first of Stanley's
That's right.
skipped rocks.
Yeah. Matt Stanley getting ready to throw his rock.
The line looks good here, Bernie. It's just all about the weight.
Yep.
Coming in nicely. That really cut.
Oh, great. Very
Nicely
nice shot.
done.
Very nice shot. And I did a split for speed from up here. We're at about 14.6. Now perhaps I was off just a smidgen there, but it is pretty fast.
Yep.
That's hog to hog, of course. People use different variations of how to measure the speed of the rock. There is from the back line to the hog to hog, and so on. So a last rock for Mike Hughes here.
They haven't laid a broom on it, Bernie. I think this may be a little hot.
Yeah, I think they would be content to give a 1 here to Team Stanley.
Well, here it comes now. Yep.
And the sweepers are giving it all. That's pretty good.
I don't think Matt has a whole lot of options. He might be able to get to the button.
Yeah.
Do you suppose? I guess it's worth a try.
Now we've seen a couple of times now some of the elite teams are doing it's a so-called spinorama shot. Edine perfected that.
Right.
And it gives a slow and gradual curl onto the rock, but at the end it really digs in and gets into the position that they want. So not saying we're going to see that here, but that is some of the more popular shots that are happening on tour.
He hasn't got much of the button to grab.
Yep.
Well, it's coming in nicely, though.
Pretty close there. Oh, good attempt by Stanley. Yep. So just the one blue.
So we're all tied up after 2, 1-1.
We're going to take a short break. Be right back. And we're back. The third end is underway. Stanley team had taken one in that second end. Very close so far. And they started this end by wanting to bring in a rock as center line guard. It curled a little bit too much.
And this tournament is brought to you by Curl NB, but sponsored by the Brannen Icebreaker Group from Fredericton.
Yes, and just wanted to mention that the sponsor for this event, the Brannen Group, they came on board to commemorate two well-known New Brunswick curlers that passed away suddenly a couple of years ago. Were great contributors to the sport of curling, and this is a great way to remember them and to honor their memory.
Yeah, Jamie Brannen, who curled on various teams through the years, and his dad, I guess, was also a longtime member of CWC. So.
That's right. So I believe they were wanting to come into the house here, Arnold.
Yep.
Came up a little bit short.
So just reviewing the scores, a nice one. You have Smeltzer after two ends of play, 2-1 over Leita. Kraus has stolen 1 point in the second end to be 5-zip over Keefe. In our feature game, it's 1-1 after two. Quillen Sylvie stole a point over Hughes in the second end. She's up 2-0. And McGinn stole a point in the second end to be up 6-0 over Holmes on ice 5.
So here the Stanley team is trying to take advantage of a couple of guards in front to bring one in behind cover. Got to put a little bit of pressure on the Hughes team to, they of course wanting to score a point or two in this end. The attempt to come in for draw came up a little bit short. Now that's, I think, is the first time they've thrown one on that far left side. So perhaps the weight is a little bit, just a little bit slower down there. Not as many rocks have taken that path.
Yes, Bernie, in the 2025 Curling NB Brannen Mixed Curling Championship, the play got underway at noontime yesterday, Thursday, with a draw at 4:30 and 9 p.m. And we have 3 draws here on Friday, 9:30, 2:30, and 7:30, and similar times on Saturday, the 29th, with draws at 9:30 and then the final at 2:30 on Sunday. All happening here at Curl Moncton, 80 Lockhart Avenue in Moncton, New Brunswick.
I think that final game at 2:30 could be an if necessary. We'll check on that draw a little bit later.
Right.
So we had just, the Hughes team had made a very nice draw in behind cover there by Ron Allen and Alsinga. And the Stanley team looking to come up behind that to freeze onto it.
They held that quite well, Bernie, and it looks like it's just going to get by. Unfortunately, I don't think it's heavy enough.
Yeah, that's right.
It short took the curl. There's an opportunity where you see the curl coming both ways, huh?
A Hughes team, they're calling some very good shots here. They're a young team, but they're calling some very good shots. They want to put some pressure on the Stanley team by building up opportunities to score multiple points here, using their guards to their advantage.
Now this is taken off early, Bernie, and
Oh, yeah.
I think we'll be racking on that guard. You mentioned the Miramichi, the Curling NB Hall of Fame is going to be taking place at the Miramichi Curling Club in May 4th of this year. And that event helps to promote and recognize builders, athletes, and teams who have proven themselves worthy in the province.
And that's turned out to be quite a nice event. Some well-deserved people have been nominated to the Curling New Brunswick Hall of Fame.
Yep. And I don't know if she quite got out to the broom here. I'm right behind her on ice 3, and that's taking off. So if anything, it'll open it up.
Yeah.
Would you think this? Yeah, they're going to go in.
In doing that, though, it's nudged that blue rock a little bit towards the right.
Yep.
Creating a little bit of an opening should the Stanley team need to come in there again. But the Hughes team.
And they've chosen not to guard. They're actually going in. They're going on the offensive here. We're going to see how this really moves now, Bernie.
Look at that take off, yeah. Nice shot. Perhaps a little bit deeper than they wanted.
Well, yes, and actually a little more open than they would have liked.
That's right. So there is an opportunity to remove those two. They're looking for normal takeout weight here.
And you can see he's not giving much ice.
No.
And you want to hit it on the broom side and eliminate both rocks and hopefully stick around.
Yeah, as we up the weight, doesn't curl quite as much. So here we go, Danielle Hubbard.
She's up the stick, all right.
Her first rock.
Wow.
Oh.
Very well done.
Wow.
Yep. They held that on that
nice
line.
Nice takeout. Perhaps if it would have curled a little bit less, you could have removed the two of them.
Yes, exactly. And with that weight, Bernie, she would have stayed around as well.
Yes.
So, anyway, mission accomplished, and Hughes is lying 1 on the 4-foot, the back of the 4-foot.
Yep. Jumping at an opportunity here.
Not throwing big weight at this. Sweeping it to try to have it curl, which he seems to be doing quite well.
Well, it looks like it's going to turn out well here, Arnold.
Yes, and they're going to get the
that
roll
nice
that they're looking
roll.
for.
A little bit less exposed than their last one.
Yep. That was just backline weight, Bernie. That hardly got out of the house.
Matt Stanley, seeing an opportunity here, will make an attempt to remove the yellow shot. He's looking at different options, though.
Yeah, from my viewpoint, and I'm right behind the ice on sheet 3, he has maybe half of his exposed. He does not have last rock, so he certainly doesn't want to leave them with too much.
Yeah, there's also that it's getting enough of that blue one to tap it in.
At least cut them down, right?
Yeah. a little bit of a discussion here. It's important to make the right call.
Yeah, they kind of indicated if they could just tap it in, they'd give up the one, but they'd have that side blocked off, and really wouldn't be many options for Hughes to come in for a second point.
I think at minimum, if they can be sitting number 2,
Yeah.
give up a one to the Hughes team, they would be satisfied with that.
And all the games here are being timed throughout the weekend, so they have to make use of their time smartly. Discussing the weight that they're going to throw here. Bernie, that's not very much ice.
No, it's not. I know if it were you and I, it wouldn't be enough, enough ice.
Well, we'll see. I got a feeling with that kind of ice that this is going to be not overly thrown, but
Here we go.
they're not laying a broom on it.
Needs to curl a little more. Oh,
All right.
he was on the broom, perhaps.
It was, and that wasn't overthrown either, so.
No.
So opportunity used to get his second point in here and
That's right.
buried as well.
This is the first rock in this end for
For-
Mike Hughes.
Yeah. These are 8-end games with a timeout for each team. All the games are being timed. And live score is also being provided, so you can check the website.
And here the rock is coming. Mike Hughes' first rock in this third end.
They got on that, and they're sweeping it pretty much all the way. And it looks like he's got a nice,
Yep, the sweeper's trying to get it
it's
curled
moving
just a little
nicely
bit
now.
more.
Wow,
Yeah.
missed opportunity there. He could have been top
Yeah, that's right.
4 foot. Instead, he's on the tee line. So an opportunity for Matt Stanley to get in there and
Is it perhaps a little bit that they started sweeping it a little bit too early? Or
perhaps. And Bernie, I don't know whether Matt can get shot rock out of this, but he's certainly going to try it.
I think if he were to hit that yellow that's on the left side and just plop
Yeah.
a little bit towards the one that's on the button, he'd be satisfied with that.
Okay, the brushers hammer down. Can they hold it? That's the important thing. And I think he's just going to get by. He is. But again, with that brushing, Bernie, it kept it on the outside.
right.
So
Yeah, they had to be cognizant of the guard in
Yeah,
front
yeah.
and not wick off of it, so they had to stay on it sweeping. And
so opportunity for Hughes to score
Yes.
2 here if he removes this
they didn't
second
stick
rock.
for 2.
Yeah. And he won't be overthrowing this. That should, with that broom, hack weight or board.
Hack weight.
Yeah, or board, I think.
Bore, yeah. It looks like it's coming along well here.
Yep. They're, and there we have it. Score of 2 for Hughes to make the score 3-1 after 3 ends of play.
And we'll be back in a moment.
Le minéralisant tout usage Uplaso est la solution idéale pour tous vos végétaux. Uplaso est naturel à 100% et offre à vos légumes, fleurs, arbres, fines herbes et plantes d'intérieur un mélange de plus de 57 minéraux, alors que les fertilisants de grandes marques en offrent 3 au plus. Uplaso fait le bonheur de tout ce qui pousse. Obtenez des fruits et légumes plus goûteux, plus gros et plus colorés et éloignez les insectes de façon naturelle. Pour un jardin digne de celui de grand-maman, utilisez le minéralisant tout usage Uplaso.
There's that center line guard, Bernie, which can't be touched until the fifth rock is thrown.
Yeah.
And it can't be touched at all, right? It's not a question of moving it off. You can't touch it.
You can touch it, you just can't move it off of the line.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can nudge it a little bit.
So you could nudge it, but
And actually, to determine that, sometimes you're looking down on the rock and you think, is it touching the line? Is it not? And what they're using is a carpenter square.
you know what? I saw that. I've never seen it used. I've seen the instrument, but
Yeah, for those at-home handy people who have carpenter square, now you also have another use for it. It's to determine whether the rock is touching the center line or not. You just place it right on the edge of that line, bring it up to the rock, and you'll see if it's touching.
we've got a measurement now on ice 1, Lehighton and Smeltzer.
That's a close game there, Arnold.
Yeah, we'll give you the results of that when it's known.
Hughes now wanting to take advantage of coming behind their center line guard they had thrown a moment ago.
Now that's finishing real nice, Bernie, as it gets into the
It's
house.
coming along really nice there.
Yeah, with
Nice
the proper
shot
weight,
there
it's
by
really
Gabriel.
yeah. All right, on sheet 1, it was a steal of 2 for Smeltzer over Lehighton, so they're up Smeltzer 4-1 in the starting the fourth end. And on sheet 2, Keefe and Cruz. Keith still hasn't been able to score a point. They're down 6-0 over Kraus. And our future game, Hughes took 2 in the third end, and it's now 3-1. And on sheet 4, Quillen over Hughes. Quillen has hammer, and they're up 2-1. And on sheet 5, Holmes finally got on the board, and they're down 6-3 to McGinn. And everyone's starting the fourth end.
So here we had an attempt by the Stanley team to come in onto the shot rock. Came up a little bit short.
Yeah, it serves as a guard for their number 2 rock at the back of the forefoot, but beyond that, not of much benefit.
Perhaps a little bit too much weight there.
Yeah, a missed opportunity again. Yep. So Matt's asking for the rock just to, he's not worried about getting shot rock so much. He wants to get his rock in play.
Julien Berube is throwing his first one in this fourth end.
That's coming in nice, Bernie.
It's coming along nicely, Arnold. Not too bad. They could use that later. They can tap that up if the opportunity is there.
Yeah, Hughes is asking to just sit one on top of that last blue rock that was thrown.
Make it tougher for Team Stanley. Just to mention that this week in PEI, we have the Canadian Juniors are happening in Summerside. Our team, New Brunswick Women, skipped by Melody Forsyth, is in the thick of it. She's sitting at 6-1.
Yeah, that's great to see.
Moving on to the playoff round. And the New Brunswick boys, team Dalrymple, were in the thick of it as well. I believe they are 6-1. I'll follow up and check what their standings are.
Great. Championnat Brannen Mix de curling NB se déroule à Crow Mountain, ici à Moncton, New Brunswick. On est ici toute la fin de semaine. Il y a des parties aujourd'hui à 2h30 à 7h. Samedi, c'est 9h30, 2h30 et 7h30. Puis dimanche, il y a une partie pour sûr à 9h30, mais là, les autres sont décidés avec les états des autres équipes.
Oh, that worked out pretty good there, Arnold.
Yes, it took it off the button.
That's right. The Stanley team here trying to position themselves to score a couple at minimum.
Well, there's lots of rocks in play, Bernie.
There is a lot of rocks in play, yeah. A little bit of discussion here on where to place their rock. They're choosing to come into the 4-foot.
These are 8-end games, so at the 4th end we'll have a break. I don't know, minute and a half, I guess. They're working on that pretty hard.
Good throw. The sweepers did their best to try to drag it in a little bit further, but nonetheless, the weight was pretty good.
It's certainly open for a takeout. The possibility to jam here is.
That's right. And jamming onto the back blue, and they're trying to make sure that.
It is actually sitting number 3, so that was
yes,
what Matt was just checking.
Check on which was number 1, which is number 2 and 3. Daniel Hubbard.
Lots of weight on this.
A little bit of weight.
Trying to keep it straight.
Oh, and that worked out pretty good.
Yep.
Avoided that
the jam
in the back.
Yep. So Hughes is actually sitting 1 with Stanley 2 and 3.
Discussing with his team what are the options that they want to work with here. There is that in off of that blue on the right hand side to sit number 2. I think that's what they're going to do here.
Yes, certainly if half a rock and they're going to get behind cover, so be very difficult for Stanley to remove. Sweeping that hard now. That's curling, Bernie. That's even with that weight, that's really curling.
Curling a little bit too much there. Oh.
Well, they got their roll though.
Yeah, they got the roll that they wanted. Perhaps it was it did curl a little bit too much at the end. Maybe a little bit more room.
So a race takeout attempt here by the Stanley squad,
right.
And they could be sitting.
They could be sitting 5 here.
Yeah. Or 3 for sure.
Prime opportunity here for the Stanley team.
Now Matt hollered right away on that. This is curling on them.
Oh.
Well, they're able to hold it. Nice shot.
Wow, great shot.
To be lying 3.
I was mistaken, Arnold. I thought that one in the back on the right was blue.
Yeah.
I guess
no, right. Yeah.
I guess I'm colorblind. I believe, though, it looks like from here that blue is 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I would say that as well.
At least I got that one right.
we'll have a shout out too to our ice crew here at Curl Moncton. These are all volunteer positions, and they do a great job through the week, and they put in extra time now with an event like this on the weekend. Our hats are gratitude off to them.
So what are we looking at here, Arnold?
He's attempting to come into the shot rock on the button.
Freeze onto it would be
Yeah.
ideal for them. It'll limit the scoring opportunity for
They've got a nice rock coming here if they can hold it. Yeah, well
really
done.
have to pound
Now
it
that
here.
wasn't overthrown, Bernie, and they just they
working
brushed
out
the
pretty
heck
good.
out of that. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
So
However, if
decision time now.
decision time, yes. You know, here if Stanley were to just bump that back a little bit, pros and cons is that if he can hit it and roll,
Right. There's
it
no
rolls.
problem. There's no problem hitting it. It's
That's
where's
right.
it going to go?
It's where they want the yellow rock to wind up and where their shooter comes to rest. Realizing that there might not be another opportunity to send to put them in a position for multiple points.
Right. And it's certainly tempting because you're in a position to score multiple points,
Right.
but
So Matt wants to take
Bernie,
a look at this
he
from
does have
another.
an opening here to get to his blue, to hit it back on the shot rock.
Trying to eye the positioning of that yellow to see where they want to hit it.
Yeah. And at this point, he doesn't need to stick around, right?
No, exactly. This is a highly precise shot attempt here.
This is the first of his two rocks here in the fourth end. And that's a hard, heavy, hard one.
A little bit of weight here. Oh. Perhaps a little bit too much weight.
Yeah, just overthrew that.
Yeah.
If anything, with that kind of weight, it actually probably sat back a little bit.
That's right.
So.
Yeah.
So, opportunity Hughes here to plug up that opening. Stanley does have shot rock here. He
He
may
does.
be attempting to come and bump his in. I didn't see what the shot indicated. That's probably the shot, would you say?
I would say so, yeah. This makes a lot of sense. So Hughes delivering his last rock in this fourth end.
Yep. Trying to hold it. Oh, that's moving on him. Again, missed opportunity.
Oh.
So even though Matt missed with his first one, he's
That's
being
right.
given an opportunity here to score multiple points.
So once
And
again,
again,
here,
he doesn't
Matt-
need to stick around.
That's right, he needs to stick around. To score 5, that is. More importantly, he has to make sure that the yellow moves well away from.
It'll be interesting to see, Bernie, what kind of weight he'll throw at this.
And here we go.
He's still
Matt
throwing pretty
Stanley's
good
rock is
weight.
coming down.
It's about the jam here now.
Oh,
So he scores his 3.
he makes a shot.
Yep.
Didn't,
So after 4 ends, we have Matt Stanley up 4-3.
That's
after
right.
4.
So a 3 there for the Stanley team. They're going to take a fourth end break, and so are we. So we'll see you again in a few minutes.
proud supporters of Curling NB. Hoop Lasso. Visit www.hooplasso.ca to learn about our mineralizer and to find a retailer near you. BrokerLink Insurance. BrokerLink has a group rate for members of Curling NB. Visit www.brokerlink.ca to get your quote today. The Brannen Icebreaker. The Jake Thomas Celebrity Curling Classic. The Government of New Brunswick. The Curling NB Hall of Fame. Visit www.facebook.com/CNBHOF for all information regarding the Curling NB Hall of Fame and this year's nominations. Egg Farmers Rocks and Rings Program. Visit www.rocksandrings.com to bring the Rocks and Rings program to your school's gymnasium or community function. Sport New Brunswick. Visit www.sportnb.com to learn more. Coaching Association of Canada. Visit www.coach.ca to learn more. And Curling Canada. Visit www.curling.ca to view all future upcoming events.
So welcome back. We're in the fifth end with Stanley scoring a 3 to take the lead of 4-3 over Hughes.
And as Arnold mentioned, these are 8-end games. If there's a tie after 8 ends, they play an extra end. We do have some other games going on at the same time. Just give you a quick update on sheet 1. We have Smeltzer leading Lighton 4-3. On sheet 2, we have Kraus leading Keefe 6-2. On sheet 4, we have they're just getting underway in that fifth end. Quillian is leading Hughes, Kyle Hughes 2-1. And on sheet 5, we have McGinn leading Holmes 9-3.
Yes, Bernie, and on sheet 4, they haven't put the fourth end score up as yet.
Okay. So I know for those who do live scoring, if they don't put their scores up on the backboard, it makes it tough for the live scores to be accurate or up to date. So in this end, the Hughes team has the hammer. Started out by having the Stanley team wanting to put up center guard. Just off the center line a little bit. And Hughes on their first rock is coming in, trying to come in behind that guard, and I think it's a little bit short.
And Bernie, we just got the update on sheet 4. Quillen did score 1 in the fourth end, so she is up 3-1 over Hughes.
Okay,
and they're in their fifth end now as well.
Juste pour vous mettre à date, championnat junior canadien est en cours à Summerside, sur l'île de Prince-Édouard. L'équipe de Nouveau-Brunswick féminin, ils sont maintenant 6 victoires, 1 défaite. Donc, ça va très bien pour l'équipe féminin et l'équipe masculine. Ils sont maintenant 5 victoires, 1 défaite. Donc, je pense que les 2 équipes de Nouveau-Brunswick junior vont s'avancer à la ronde championnat.
Nice hit and roll there, Bernie.
Yeah, very nice. Very
Actually,
nice.
it overrolled, overcurled a little bit. Opportunity for Stanley to come in and sit on top of that. That was a big 3 points in the 4th end for Stanley.
Sure was, yeah.
Play resumes after this draw at 2:30 and 7:30. And once again, draws on Saturday at 9:30, 2:30, and 7:30 with, we know for sure, one draw at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday.
And just a reminder for curling fans, if you want to come down to Curl Mountain to take part in the action, there is no admission at the door, but we are selling 50-50 instead of the admission, and there is some nice little bit of cash that you can win. So a great way to contribute to the event and to get a few dollars in your pocket at the end of the day.
And get to see some nice curling.
And get to see some nice curling.
He's asked to remove that, which he's done, so
yeah.
I think Matt's going to ask for another guard here, would be my guess. Oh, he's going to come in. Okay.
Yeah, in doing that, it will reduce the ability for that run back on the yellow
Correct.
in the front.
Yep. He's gotten out to the broom, so we'll see how that performs based on his weight.
This is Julien Berube throwing his second rock in the 5th end.
She's sweeping for the curl. Well, not terrible.
Yeah, that's didn't turn out not too bad there.
Although, as you say, the run back is certainly there.
That's right. I think they're looking at that right now, perhaps as an opportunity, but still a little bit earlier.
He's asking for just back T-line weight, so I think they just want to move this around a little bit, Bernie.
Yeah, from here is that blue shot rock, Arnold. What do you think? It's a little bit hard for us to tell here.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's create a little bit of, perhaps nudge that blue back a little, create some separation.
So this is the second rock of second stone here for wow, just overthrew that a bit, Bernie, and it stayed right there. That's perhaps hack weight, missed opportunity.
Yeah, unforced error there.
I'm surprised with this call. I would think that white guard is an advantage to Stanley, but maybe not. He's considering the run back. Now he's just asking for T-line, so.
Okay. Danielle Hubbard throwing her first rock in this 5th end.
This is the first of Danielle mates rocks, and Bernie, that's the second one we see with just that little extra weight stays right
That's
there.
right, yeah. And it's line sensitive. Perhaps
Yep.
a couple of inches less of broom might have made a difference.
Yeah. So missed opportunity on both sides here.
It needs to curl a little more, Arnold.
No. Here we are again. That's that same line, Bernie. That's
Yeah,
3 in a
that's
row
right.
now.
It just didn't
Yep.
quite work out as they had hoped there.
Nope. As we mentioned, Bernie, these are 8-end games, and the teams are afforded one timeout each during the course of the game. Ashley's being asked to sit one on top of full
That's
4
right.
foot. A little bit less on this, and they're brushing it. And
Yep.
you're going to see it move here once it gets to that hog line.
Here it's going.
Wow. It's actually we're thinking. Are we thinking Hughes is shot, Bernie? But we really don't know, do we?
It appears as though those two blues are touching.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that Hughes has got last rock, he's got to clear a path for his last rock. So
That's right.
So this is the last of the mates rocks for Team Hughes. Trying to make it curl. That's coming in nicely now. And knocks their own rock off of the 4 foot.
But
So
it does create separation on the two blue now.
Yeah, well, and they're lying 2 right now.
That's
so
right.
it's all about what are you going to leave Hughes for his first gets rocked. This is the first of Matt Stanley here in the 5th end. Last rock belonging to Hughes.
You're keeping that center line guard as an opportunity for later if they have to. They have to run that back if the Hughes team has to use that later.
That's true. That's right.
Yeah. We're down to skip rocks in this end. Hughes has the hammer. Matt Stanley has come down to get ready to throw his rock. And I would think they're going to try to protect their two that are in the 4 foot.
He can't protect everything, but
No.
if he can come off the yellow rock,
Yes.
certainly create some clutter there on the 4 foot, which is pretty well what he's doing. Nice weight.
Yep. Nice weight. A little bit of a kiss off of that.
There you go.
Great shot by Matt Stanley.
So,
Matt is a member of Curl Moncton. He knows perhaps a little bit more about the rocks and the ice, but certainly when they sand the rocks, it does change the complexion of play a little bit.
As we said earlier, earlier this week, the rocks were textured. We use the term textured, but it just means they're sanded to improve the curl availability. Now they're lying 3 on the 4-foot. But as you said, Bernie, that front one, that front yellow rock could certainly be run back if that's what they're choosing to do. But I don't think so. I think they're going to go at least make a double takeout. But there could be a jam possibility there as well. So
That's right.
we'll have to wait and see.
Have to get a couple of blues moving here.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Hughes getting ready to throw his rock. Bit of weight here, Arnold.
Yep. He's got the top one, and the jam came into play, but he got rid of one of them. Now Stanley has an option to come in the open side and sit one on the button.
Yeah. And in doing that, it would make it tough for the Hughes team to try to score one here.
I guess the option here too, though, Bernie, he could come in where his blue ones are and take the takeout on that side. But no, I think he's has he decided? I think he wants to go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So he rethought that, and I don't know if he's going to guard Bernie or just perhaps tap that. They know this. They know this way in.
Yeah,
They've played it all
do.
game. So
They certainly do. So protecting those two would be a good choice.
and maybe even getting in there. That's the other option that's there. So if the run back were to take place.
Last rock here for Stanley in this 5th end.
They're not holding the brush to it, so I guess they were playing the. No, actually, I think he was protecting the run back.
Yeah, it's
Well, there's an opportunity here for Hughes to score multiple points.
yeah. If they would have attempted that blue onto yellow run back, I don't think they would have got any better results than what they're trying here now.
Right. There are two blue there though, and whether they get a jam, we'll see.
I think though, if he makes this perfect shot here, that he could at least perhaps just score one.
The last rock of play here in the 5th end, and she's calling for. He's got good weight. Oh, the jam did
Oh, that
come
worked
into
out
play.
well. So he
Yep.
did score his one.
Yep. So we're all tied up here after 5.
That's great. So we're going to
Stanley
take
and Hughes at 4-4.
we're going to take a break for a sec, and we'll be right back.
Uplazo's all-purpose mineralizer is the ideal solution for your plants. Uplazo is 100% natural and offers your vegetables, flowers, trees, herbs, and houseplants a blend of more than 57 minerals, compared to the big brand fertilizers that offer 3 minerals at most. Uplazo enhances everything that grows. Get bigger, tastier, and more colorful fruits and vegetables while keeping bugs away naturally. For a garden worthy of grandma, use Uplazo all-purpose mineralizer.
right, folks, the sixth end is now underway. We have a very close game, tied 4-4.
Yeah, there's 4-4 here, and it's 4-4 on ice 1, Laheyton and Smeltzer. Ice 2, Kraus has taken another point, so they're up 7-2 over Keefe. The Hughes and Quillen game, Quillen stole 2 in the fifth, so they're up 5-1. And Holmes and McGinn is ahead 9-4 after 5.
This weekend we do have some veteran teams who are competing, some teams who have recently won the mixed championships. We have Charlie Sullivan Rink, who is the defending champion. We have Grant Odishaw from Curl Mountain, who has gone on to many Canadian championships, and he has, in the last 2 or 3 years, had gone on to the Canadian Mixed Championships. And we have Sylvie Quillian as well. Many of these teams have played at Canadian Championship levels, and there's some great curlers out there this weekend.
Yes, and Sylvie Quillen, of course, her maiden name is Robichaud, so she's curling with her brother, Marcel.
The teams right now are content with just playing a cat and mouse game here, bring it in the rings.
Yeah, this is the least of rocks and play we've seen all game.
That's right.
As we mentioned earlier, this is the first draw of, on Friday, but there's a draw at 2:30 and 7:30 today. Then 3 draws, 9:30, 2:30, and 7:30 on Saturday. And we know for sure there's 1 draw on Sunday at 9:30.
And there was a hit and just rolled up a little bit. And once again, just a reminder, if you want all the latest scores for every draw, for every game, you just go to curlingmb.com, look for scores and results, and you'll see all the details on this event, the teams, the draw, the scores.
And Bernie, just to remind folks as well, we will be live streaming all of the matches here from here on in.
That's right.
However, there's nothing like being here in person. Come visit us at Curl Mountain for the 2025 Brannen Mixed Curling Championship at Curl Mountain, 80 Lockhart Avenue. The main entrance now is located at what I'd call the back of the building, so there's plenty of parking, and yeah, come on down.
Very nice hit and roll there by Team Hughes. We also mentioned a little while ago about the Canadian juniors being underway in Summerside PI. Curl Moncton did host the Canadian seniors just a few months ago in November. Very successful event. We also have coming up at the end of April, beginning of May, the World Seniors and the World Mixed Doubles in Fredericton. So a lot of events happening in the maritime region. And of course, the big one will be this coming November, the curling trials, the Olympic curling trials in Halifax.
Yes, that Canadian seniors event that Curl Moncton hosted in December. There were 14 men and 14 women team here competing all week. We resurrected four ices over in the pickleball court, which worked out very well, and it's now resumed to its pickleball. They've got a great membership over there as well.
Pickleball has certainly gained in popularity. It's a sport that, like curling, anybody can play, all age groups. Um, so certainly it is gaining popularity, and hopefully curling will continue to grow. There was a bit of a pause during the pandemic, but curling is back on its feet in New Brunswick. We have a lot of young curlers who are here this weekend, which just goes to show that the sport is gaining more and more popularity.
Yep. Well, that's right. I think we still have 35 clubs in the province, so it's active pretty well throughout the province.
So here we're attempting to come into the rings on the right-hand side here. Might be a little bit too much weight. Is it going to stop in time? It does. It just hangs on the. This is an opportunity here, the way this end is going, for teams to minimize time on the clock.
Right, and just take out. This is the game of old, right? Before the 5-rock rule was invented.
That's right. You try to accumulate the valuable time on your clock for when it counts the most, at the very end of a game, perhaps.
All matches on this 9:30 draw are currently in the 6th end. These are 8-end games, and with one timeout for each team during the course of the game.
Just to mention, there is the Grand Slam of curling has always experimented with some variations to the sport of curling, and one thing that they are experimenting with this year is certainly with the elite teams, they tend to blank a lot of ends to carry over for a better opportunity. Well, what they're doing, and we haven't seen that in Curling Canada events yet, is that what they're doing in Grand Slam is that if you blank 2 consecutive ends, if you had the hammer and you blank 2 consecutive ends, the third end you lose the hammer.
Right.
And it's to encourage teams to try to create a little bit more offense.
Right. In fact, that exists now in mixed doubles, does it not?
That's right.
Yeah, they're always trying to tweak it for the interests of the spectators, for sure.
I think it's creating a little bit of buzz. So again, a cat and mouse game here. Put the bait out there, get your opponent to go after it. Hughes is first rock the 6th end, looking to hit and stick, and it just rolls a little bit too far out.
And we have our first final here between Keith and Kraus. Keith scored 1 in the 6th end for a 7-3 victory, and they're shaking hands, so Kraus is the victor there.
So that the Stanley team decided the best thing to do here is just to carry forward to end number 7, blanking it. Both teams decided that was the best way to proceed. So we're going to
that's in the 9:30 draw. That's the first blank end that's occurred. So
that's right. We're just going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Le minéralisant tout usage Uplaso est la solution idéale pour tous vos végétaux. Uplaso est naturel à 100% et offre à vos légumes, fleurs, arbres, fines herbes et plantes d'intérieur un mélange de plus de 57 minéraux, alors que les fertilisants de grandes marques en offrent 3 au plus. Uplaso fait le bonheur de tout ce qui pousse. Obtenez des fruits et légumes plus goûteux, plus gros et plus colorés et éloignez les insectes de façon naturelle. Pour un jardin digne de celui de grand-maman, utilisez le minéralisant tout usage Uplaso.
And we're back. Play underway in the seventh end. A little bit of a cat and mouse play in that sixth end. Put the bait out there, go after it. They decided they were just peeling the guards, hitting the rock in the rings, satisfied to blank this end and move forward to the next end since there was no opportunity to score multiple points. Looking to freeze onto that blue one, didn't curl quite enough. So the Stanley team trying to take advantage of that here. Aiden Ingersoll throwing her second rock in this end. Perhaps a little bit wide there. Didn't quite get the curl that they were hoping for. So missed opportunity.
We mentioned it earlier. We have Catherine McLean here as the chief umpire. She's working solo this weekend, and she puts in a lot of time for the
She sure does.
for Curl NB, and she's also the competitive director for the association. So hats off to Catherine.
Nice shot here.
I think the attempt here, Bernie, it's wide open. You could certainly make a run back, and
you force the Stanley team to go after it and get some action on it.
Yep.
First stone by the second.
We're trying to have it curl a bit, and very nice.
Very nice shot. Nice double there.
And got the rollover.
Got the
so
roll.
they're lying 3 right now.
That's a bonus.
It really is. The run back, they're indicating a run back for Gribben.
Brannen and Elsinga. Looks like they're going for a run back here.
Well, they're holding it, so they get the single. So unfortunately, though, the shooter remains there. So
that's right.
And this has been the favorite side coming in on the away end.
Mm-hmm.
The intern. I'm a little surprised to see the game continue on ice 5. It's Holmes is down 10-4. And they're playing the 7th end, so.
Well, 2 trains of thought there. It's giving them an opportunity to learn a little bit more about
the ice,
the ice, the speed, the curl.
Yep.
Some of these teams have traveled a bit of a distance to get here. They want to get enough curling in to justify their coming to the mixed championships.
Sure.
And you never know. Never say never, I guess.
Oh no, hey, I been there, done that, but yeah. And this the Brannen Mixed Curling Championship for 2025 is happening all weekend here at Curl Moncton, 80 Lockhart Avenue in Moncton, New Brunswick. We have two more draws today at 2:30 and 7:30, and Saturday, which is tomorrow, is 9:30, 2:30, and 7:30, and we know for sure there's a 9:30 draw on Sunday.
So here the Stanley team is positioning themselves to potentially get some multiple points.
They're lying 3 right now, and with Last Rock.
Create some separation here on the rocks, put them in another spot where it gives Hughes more to think about. Create separation so that you're not depending on the 1 or 2 that are sitting in the 4-foot to score multiple points. We're going for a hit here, Arnold, I believe.
Yep. They can play the run back, and if the shooter stays there, they'll be lying 1, so, or they'll be shot rock, I should say. However, to score the double, I don't think the shooter will stick around. Ooh.
Oh, what happened there?
I think someone hit it. That's the second time that's happened this game.
That's right.
Wow, wow,
Not
wow.
certain if there was a pick or the broom may have touched the rock.
I think it was a broom, and a little disappointment there on...
Unfortunate situation there.
Ron Allen.
I know you and I wouldn't have to worry about that. It's hard enough for us to keep up with the rocks, right?
Yeah. So, there's always an option here, Bernie. You could guard your shot rock or just go in for another point.
Bring another one in.
Yeah. It's always a discussion.
And it looks like it's going to work out.
Yeah, they're lying 5 right now.
We're putting a lot of pressure now on the Hughes team to have to deal with that.
Unfortunately, there could be a triple here easily enough. You get to a point in a game like this where it could be a disadvantage to put too many rocks in play, because there's always going to be something that someone can hit against.
That's right.
Yeah. However, the double attempt will be made, and as I said, if the shooter stays there, then they won't be in bad shape.
Not too many options here. You got to get rid of a couple, I suppose, is the best choice.
Yeah. At this late in the game, you certainly want to avoid a big in.
There's no guards up front to sneak in behind. Mike Hughes is going to be throwing his first rock this 7th end.
He hasn't overthrown this. It's just nice takeout weight. And it's curling on them.
He had nice weight on that. It just curled a little too much.
Yep. So an open hit to for Matt Stanley to
sit 5
on his first skits rocks. Yeah, to sit 5. From the last end to this end, it certainly has changed.
Yes, the complexion of the end has changed quite a bit, especially in light of the end before that.
Yeah.
Might get a jam on the back.
He's going to avoid the jam. Well, he takes it out. That's okay.
Avoided the jam altogether by hit and rolling both of those out of the back of the rings. So I think the best option is if there's a hit and roll where he can eliminate a couple of the blue rocks.
I think, yeah, at this point, Bernie, I think you'd want to. I mean, there's not really a draw option.
No.
Yeah.
He just wants to cut down the Stanley team to
Right.
as few points as possible.
Right.
Now, do you think there's a possibility to take out 3 there?
It's there. He'd have to throw some weight to it, but
Yeah.
And that's not much ice. He's asked for a little more, so.
Weight will be the factor here.
Yep, yep.
And here we go.
Well, he certainly has some weight.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh. What an unfortunate
he hit that a
roll on
little thick. He hit that
Yeah,
a little thick.
bit thick. Yeah.
Yeah. So opportunity,
quite a turn of
Stanley.
events here.
An
Certainly a 4-ender.
open draw for 4.
Huge for Stanley if they can make this. They could use that rock in the forefoot for backing if necessary.
Which is exactly what they're. Oh, he's got good weight.
Looks like it's going to work out. And a big 4.
So after 7 ends of play, we've got Stanley over Hughes with a score of 8-4.
And we'll be back in a moment.
So we're in the 8th end here of the 9:30 draw. There remains 3 other games going.
So 2 options would have been here for the Stanley team. One is just to remove their rocks altogether from play.
Yep.
And the second one was to try to force the team to hit some of their own, because you don't want to leave. You don't want to put a guard up front if you have if you don't have the hammer. You don't want to give an opportunity for the other team to use that.
Multiple points, yeah. So we have another final, a nice 5. Holmes over McGinn with a score of 10-5.
Vice versa. Or I think that's vice versa, Arnold. I think it's McGinn over Holmes.
Yes.
Oh,
that's correct.
Is that what you said? Okay.
I'm not sure, but that's you're right. That's what the
That's
score
what we
is.
meant, yeah.
Yep.
And there's still a very close game on sheet 1.
Yep.
Smeltzer's leading that. They're in the 7th end. Smeltzer's leading 5-4.
And the first of Quillen's rocks on sheet 4 with they're leading 5-2 over Hughes. And Sylvie's just playing a guard to the open side to cover her shot rock. She's lying 3 at the moment. And in our game, we've got Stanley with 1 and 2 in the house.
You're trying to bait the other team into going after that.
Yeah.
And certainly, if you have to score multiple points here. Just don't take the bait.
Right.
Continue to put your rocks in play.
He's got a corner guard set up, and he's asking for a second one.
Right.
Because that double takeout's there all day long, so. I think Matt is he's got enough rocks in play. He's just asking it to go through. Yeah.
And you know what? Some people think that if you throw your rock through the rings, that means that you made your shot, but actually it counts as a zero when you're doing stats on shot percentages. Right? When I used to coach juniors, they used to say, "Well, I made my shot."
Yeah, I did it with the skip ass. Yeah. Bernie's being asked for another corner guard, so.
Yep, that's the right thing.
They're going to have their guards set up for sure. And we mentioned that these games are all timed, and right now Stanley is sitting with 5 minutes and 44 seconds.
Yeah, they got lots of time.
Versus 6 minutes and 19 minutes. 19 seconds.
So if you're Hughes here, what are you? He's looking at a couple of options. One, if he hits and rolls behind cover, you certainly have a rock in play. They could get the double here and roll over.
Which I think is what he's asking for. Right?
Yes.
They're asking for it to curl, so it's nice weight. Well, I don't think he'll get the double, however. And unfortunately, he rolls out.
Yeah, I could have curled a little bit more, I guess.
Yeah. Now it's elimination time for Stanley.
Textbook, just get rid of those guards. Eliminate the opportunities for Hughes to set themselves up to score more than one. Of course, they need at least 4 to tie the game here, so.
And on sheet 1, Leighton is giving up 2 for sure.
So time to come in for Hughes. We gotta get one, we gotta bury it.
I'm surprised they're coming this way. There's an open draw this way.
Yeah.
Unless, well, they could be playing for the hit and roll, so.
Now it allows 4 rocks for in this end for the Hughes team, so every shot counts here.
Bernie, that's not, they're trying to make that curl, but again, gonna nick that rock and put it behind guard. Yep.
Yeah, that didn't quite turn out. So here, if Stanley removes this shot rock, this could make it tough for the Hughes team to get enough points for tying the game.
It's all about eliminating now, and such
I guess
is life,
that's
and
it,
that's
folks.
the end of that game. So Stanley is victorious over Hughes here in the eighth end, and
all around it was a pretty good game.
Yep, we have just
up until that seventh end.
correct.
A couple of mistakes by the Hughes team.
We have two games remaining on sheet one. Smeltzer stole 3 in the seventh to now lead Laïta 8-4. And on sheet 4, we have Sylvie Quillen over Hughes. Sylvie's throwing her last rock here, and she has a lead of 5-2 with hammer. And she's trying to raise takeout, which isn't going to happen, so they take 1. So the score there 5-3 after 7.
Uplazo's all-purpose mineralizer is the ideal solution for your plants. Uplazo is 100% natural and offers your vegetables, flowers, trees, herbs, and houseplants a blend of more than 57 minerals, compared to the big brand fertilizers that offer 3 minerals at most. Uplazo enhances everything that grows. Get bigger, tastier, and more colorful fruits and vegetables while keeping bugs away naturally. For a garden worthy of grandma, use Uplazo all-purpose mineralizer.
So now we'll give you live coverage of sheet 4.
So we've shifted
Hughes and
the
Quillen.
cameras onto sheet number 4.
Hughes stole 1 in the seventh end
Close
to
game
make it a
between
5-3
Sylvie Quillen
game
and
for
Kyle.
Quillen. Quillen will have last rock.
Score is 5-3 for Quillen. They have the hammer in this eighth end. And disregard the scoreboard we have showing on this right now. We'll keep you up to date on the scores for this particular game. Eighth end is underway.
And Smeltzer will be trying to run La Hitan out of rocks on sheet 1. La Hitan down 8-4 here in the eighth end. These are 8-end games, and the next draw for Friday today is 2:30, and then 7:30. 3 draws on Saturday, 9:30, 2:30, and 7:30, and we know for sure a draw Sunday morning at 9:30.
So here we have Sylvia, of course, trying to steal one or force. Make it difficult for the Hughes team to try to come up with a couple of points in this end and to.
Well, with the 5 rock rule, Bernie, she couldn't eliminate any of those guards
That's
just
right.
yet. So Marcel has come in. So they're going to be lying 2. Quillen will be lying 2. And now Hughes will. They got to score at least 2 to tie. So.
We have the producer of this telecast helping us out right here, Steve Mazzarell. Quickly did a switch over on the scoreboard. Want to make sure that this looks as possible. Because we have the B team from TSN here today doing a play-by-play. So Steve is trying to keep us on a narrow path. Kyle Hughes continuing to place center line guards so that they can come around that afterwards. They are sitting 1. Quillian is sitting 2 and 3. Quillian has yellow. Hughes is throwing the blue rocks. Looks like it's curling a little bit too much there, Arnold.
Bernie, is it in mixed curling? Do you have to have boy, girl in sequence? Can you have the male shoot lead and second?
In the 4-person mix, it has to alternate. You
It has
can't
to
have
alternate. Okay.
male, male, female, female.
Right.
And it doesn't matter who's throwing first, whether it's male or female, as long as they
Right.
alternate.
Right. A nice run back by Lynn LeBlanc. Run back takeout.
There we are. You didn't want to see us, folks, did you?
This is an appointment shot here.
That's right. We're down to matrox in this end.
They're not rushing this, but
Samantha Crook.
they were just sweeping to make it curl there, but by doing so, it's come to the back of the forefoot.
Oh, that worked out. They're
Yep.
sitting number 1. Sylvie just quickly asking her team to remove that guard. Josh Nolan playing appeal. Mission accomplished.
Yep. Another guard is being asked.
Samantha Crook.
They just want to get it
They
over the
have
hog
to
line.
Sweep that to get it into position.
The shot rock is open now,
That's
however,
right.
for
It is, yeah,
Josh.
you can just see it a little bit there.
Yep. But I think she's going to ignore Bernie and remove some of the garbage up front.
Sylvie asking to peel that guard.
And that's well done.
And just what they wanted.
And on sheet 1, the rocks, we're down to Skip's rocks here. With Laheyton having to score all of his rocks. So this is the first of his Skip's rocks. He does have hammer. And he's lying 2 and 3 right now in the house. All right, this is Hughes' first of Skip's rocks.
This is Skip Rocks, yep.
Yep. In the 8th end, without hammer, down
Kyle
2.
Hughes' first rock in this 8th end.
Yep.
Wanted to bring one into the house at number 2.
And there's plenty of time remaining. A minute and a half and 2 minutes left in that game. So that's curling in very nicely here. That's pretty well what he wanted to do. He's behind
that
cover.
Came in nice. It's behind cover, but it is behind the tee line. So
yeah. And Sylvie's electing to take that guard out.
Sylvie, in running this back, can serve two purposes. She'll remove that shot
Yeah.
rock, and if she hits it at the right spot, it could also
Yep.
expose the other blue one that's there. Many options here. She could also hit it in the right spot. She can spill those two blues as well.
This is the first of her skips rock in the 8th end. And we have another final Smeltzer over Lehighton, 8-4, and that game is now done. All right, the first of Sylvia Robichaud's skips rocks here in the 8th end. She does have hammer, and she is up 2 over Hughes. All right. So she actually jammed on her own rock. Hughes is lying 2 here without hammer. I don't think he'd want to be in too deep here, eh, Bernie?
That's right.
Crook was just looking to see how much time they have left, but I think there's no problem. So we're broadcasting live here at Curl Moncton for the 2025 Curling New Brunswick Brannen Mixed Curling Championships at Curl Moncton in Moncton, New Brunswick, 80 Lockhart Avenue.
And this is the last game that's still underway for this draw. Quillian is up 5-3 on Kyle Hughes. She has the hammer this end. Kyle Hughes just throwing his last rock. Came in a little bit farther than they wanted there.
And
calling a
Quillen
timeout.
is called for a timeout.
Quillen is calling a timeout. Give themselves a lot of opportunity to plan the shot they want to make.
She needs to remove 2. They're lying 3 right now. That's without hammer.
However, if she hits and sticks right there,
yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
She would. That would be mission accomplished. I guess
it's more about where she lies after she shoots. Yeah. Good point. And again, plays resume at Curl Moncton at 2:30 this afternoon and 7:30 this evening.
And Sylvie getting ready to throw the last rock of this end.
That's really curling on her, but ooh.
Oh, and that curled a little bit too much, Arnold.
I think she may have been a little narrow.
Okay. So we have a tie game, and they'll go to an extra run. So we're going to take a moment and get ready for the last end.
Proud supporters of Curling NB. Hoop Lasso. Visit www.hooplasso.ca to learn about our mineralizer and to find a retailer near you. BrokerLink Insurance. BrokerLink has a group rate for members of Curling NB. Visit www.brokerlink.ca to get your quote today. The Brannen Icebreaker. The Jake Thomas Celebrity Curling Classic. The Government of New Brunswick. The Curling NB Hall of Fame. Visit www.facebook.com/CNBHOF for all information regarding the Curling NB Hall of Fame and this year's nominations. Egg Farmers Rocks and Rings Program. Visit www.rocksandrings.com to bring the Rocks and Rings program to your school's gymnasium or community function. Sport New Brunswick. Visit www.sportnb.com to learn more. Coaching Association of Canada. Visit www.coach.ca to learn more. And Curling Canada. Visit www.curling.ca to view all future upcoming events.
So an extra in here on sheet 4.
Very close game. There was an opportunity for Quillian to hit and stick and win the match. Her rock curled a little bit too much. It rolled away, allowing Hughes to steal 2. And now we have a tie game heading into the ninth end.
That's the second stolen in for Hughes in the game. So Quillen is asking Marcel to draw to the button and the out turn. Marcel is just a little short on that one.
Yep.
I think he knew it because right after he shot, he got up to go and help sweep. So.
Right. Sylvie Quillian has a wealth of national experience, having curled in multiple Scotties. She's been to the Canadian mix a couple of times as a skip. They actually made it to a semi-final one year that they were there. And she's playing along with her brother, who's lead, Marcel Robichaud. The second stone is Lynn LeBlanc from Curl Mountain, and mate today is Josh Nolan.
Yes, this event attracted 15 teams from across the province. That's a good showing, and as we said earlier, the next generation of curlers is certainly here and making a good showing.
And on the Kyle Hughes team, he have as his mate Samantha Crook. Second stone is Joey Adair. Lead is Catherine Sterling, and they represent Thistle St. Andrews.
Marcel's second rock went to the back of the house, which isn't of much benefit at this point.
Yep.
The Hughes team's certainly taken it to Quillen's squad here in the last, the dying ends of this game.
That's right, Arnold.
Missed opportunity there.
Yeah.
Now I think we're going to start seeing some rock removal, Bernie.
A little bit narrow there. Sylvie wanting to eliminate some of those guards.
Yeah.
Free up some room for her to get in to score her points.
Only taking one off, but again, opportunity for Hughes to, he's playing another guard. As we said earlier, these are 8-end games, and both teams start off with 30 minutes of playtime.
Right. Hughes continuing to put up those center guards that they can use to draw behind a little bit later. And once again, Sylvie looking to remove the guards.
Yeah, the objective for Lynn here is to try to get a couple out if she can. And she does. All right. There's probably still more rocks in play than Sylvie would like. But,
that's right, yeah. Didn't quite get the action she wanted, but
no.
One less blue to worry about in front, I guess.
So, Bernie, do we go in or do we put another one in front?
I think he's choosing to go in right now.
Okay. And again, you wouldn't want it behind the tee line, so.
Yep. Samantha Crook with her first rock in this extra end. Looking to draw in behind that.
They're not laying a broom to it.
Center line card.
Here it comes now. That'll finish nicely for them.
It's probably exposed a little bit over on the right-hand side.
Yeah, it did peek out on the other side, you're right.
First rock by Josh Nolan here.
Removed.
Yep. Suppose if you would have stuck there, he would have had to be a little bit roll in under cover for it to work to their advantage.
Yep. Now we're going to attempt to get behind those guards. Sylvie has last rock in this extra end. That's well short.
It's a little bit light, Arnold.
Mm-hmm. However, it's still a guard.
Yep.
Now, what do you do, Bernie? Do we go in, or do you start removing some granite?
She wants to remove the guards.
Which, yeah, she wants to give herself an opportunity for her last rock, right? So if Josh should get rid of one or more here. And with that weight, even though he hit the other one in the house, it was going through. So, yeah. So the first of Skip Hughes' rocks here coming in the extra end, the ninth end.
Right, put some pressure on Quillian.
Which they've done for the last two ends. They took their one in the sixth, and then stole one in the seventh, and then stole two in the eighth.
They're deciding to go with the intern here.
Yeah, and again, should probably want him. He'd want to be behind the guard, above the tee line, correct? We're not laying a brush to it. It's going to take the curl here in a second. Here it goes now.
Yeah.
Again, not laying a brush. That's going to finish nicely. Might be a little deep though, Bernie. Yep. It is, however, shot rock, so.
Yeah, a little bit further than what they were hoping. So, yeah, either choices for Sylvie here is you draw in, follow them in, you draw in, just sit number 1. Or you could go, if you're
It's certainly
so
open for a
inclined, you can hit the
takeout.
blue one. And her choice is made. She's going to draw in. This will give her an opportunity as well that if she has to throw that same shot on her last rock, she'll have that weight down.
And again, the ices are pretty consistent. That's a great way to come in.
Right.
And she shouldn't have any trouble burying. He was just a little deep, and they hardly brushed it. So opportunity for Sylvie here. Not that we're being biased just because she's a club member, but brushes down. Trying to keep it straight, Bernie. I think that's the objective right now. Here it's starting to move. Great weight. Great weight. Wow. Great shot. Great shot.
Exactly what she wanted. Gives her a taste of the weight in the line if she has to throw that exact same shot.
It did peek out on the other end a bit, but whether they'd attempt that or not. Opportunity for Hughes here if he just taps that yellow back and lies 2. He's got the 4-foot covered.
That's right. It would make it tough for Sylvie to come in with another draw.
Yep. Mind you, if he taps it, Sylvie could come in and repeat the shot she just threw.
Yep.
I think that's what he's attempting. He has to budge shot rock.
Yeah, what kind of weight we're going to throw here, Arnold?
Well, I think he needs back 8 foot, perhaps. He wants to be lying 1 and 2 when this shot is finished. Really put the pressure on Sylvie. Here we go. No panic on the sweepers. Trying to make it curl.
Trying to get it to curl.
It's coming now. Oh, wow.
And it didn't curl quite enough,
Nope.
So there's no need for the Quillian team to throw their last rock.
So there we go. We have Sylvie Quillen with a score of 6-5 in the 9th end to win this one. Our next draws are at 2:30 and 7:30 today, and 9:30, 2:30, and 7:30 tomorrow, Saturday, with for sure a 9:30 draw Sunday morning. Well, Bernie, that's been great. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Yes, thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you
Bye
later.
for now.